All right, we are Friday, December 5th, about a minute before the open. Just looking at some stocks that are getting promoted this morning and some positions that I have. Actually, the only position that I have that might be interesting is ECRY, ECRY, which is stock tips, latest pump. So I'm kind of waiting for that to see what happens. I did get shares of that one at 34 cents. So that's way down here. And I got them on this day, I think it was. So I was kind of surprised that I got them. I just left the order in there. So, but I have to take shares when I can get them. There's Tim Sykes is short. ECRI again yesterday at about 39 at the close. So we'll see what happens right now. We are open right now, so we have to see how this goes. Yeah, they sent out another email, Stock Tips did, about it. So trying to make sure it pumps up, saying it could run to $1, which of course it never runs to what he says it's going to run to. But every morning this has been fading. You can see this over here, how it's done that yesterday. So that was a nice little fade. It just didn't break that low of 34 cents, which is where I am right now, my position. You can see that over here. That's my position, 34 cents. Oops. So I'm watching that right now. Imagine that it'll spike again. Also, I forget how many shares Sykes has, but it's a lot. So there might be some other people that have quite a bit of shares. If they cover, that'll send it up also. So, and then if there's a spike and they cover, it might spike it some more. Then we'll get another email saying that the shorts attacked it and it didn't work, and ECRI stood up against the onslaught or whatever, however they're going to phrase it. Always making it sound like there's some battle there that usually there isn't. Go over these other ones that I'm looking at right now. UTMR is very interesting because it had this huge little dump here, right? And so now it's bouncing from that. Plus, it's getting promoted. Now, what can happen on this is because of all of this down here, as it fell, you had some people buying. There's obviously a lot of selling, but every time there's a sell, somebody's got to be buying. So those people have all bought on this way down. So they're, it's at its rock bottom right now. So they're looking to get out. So as this thing slowly climbs up, if it climbs up or if it spikes, these people are going to want to sell. That's going to create resistance at every level. So as it goes up, it'll get kind of forced down. Then you also have to think that whoever paid for this promotion, and there's quite a few newsletters sending this out, it's probably just one or two companies. They just have a bunch of different newsletters. Whoever paid for the promotion is going to want to dump shares also. So as soon as it starts to spike, they might start dumping. You don't know. You don't know which insider of the company is going to start dumping. A lot of times these insiders will start jumping each other, to make sure they get rid of their shares. So that turns out to be funny. And you can see when that happens, it'll spike quick, and then all of a sudden this huge block will hit. It'll be some sort of block of, in this range, it could be 20, 30,000. All of a sudden 20 or 30,000 hit really quick. And then all of a sudden it'll drop a few pennies, and then 50,000 will hit. Something like that. Those are the insiders just dumping. And then when one insider sees that the other one's doing that, they scramble to do the same thing. So we're waiting to see what happens with that one. PTLF. This one, we can get it up here. There we go. This is getting promoted again by I think this was the one, I think that it's a bunch of newsletters, but it's just one company that has a bunch of newsletters. So you can see the volume increased here. and on these last few days, but it's red on the day. Well, it's up 1 cent, but it's showing a red candle. So let's see what the minute chart looks like. I usually don't look at minute charts, but yeah, it's just traded sideways pretty much for the day. Opened, it gapped up just a little bit, and then it's going sideways. So probably not going to do much. This will probably, what this will happen here is, again, like those insiders, they'll realize it's not going anywhere, so they'll just start to dump, and so this thing will start going down. I haven't tried to see if there's shares of this one yet. Almost 42. Yeah, it's still not moving really well, but we'll have to see what happens to it. It might be, well, let's see. Where could it go? If it would be interesting to have shares of it. It's at 42 right now. I mean, your low would be 30 at the most. So to get 10 cents, a 10-cent drop off of that might be difficult. No real spike. So that would be hard. Nothing really going on right now. ECEZ. Let's see if we can take a look at. Well, ECEZ, this got promoted a few days ago. Back here, you can see back here it was promoted. This was prior to Thanksgiving, really, was when this really started to hit. The 19th, I saw a promotion for it. So, and it took a little while, but this started to pop up. So you're kind of wondering when the dump's going to be. There's no promotions out there right now for it that I saw, or any that really caught my eye or did much. So we have to see if this trades. It might have just super low volume and nothing, and then, you know, to create this candle with no volume, a daily candle like this, you might have one trade up here and then one trade down there. So that might have been your first trade, is how it opened at the bottom, and then, you know, it closed up at the top. And there might, I mean, an extreme, but there might have only been 2 trades. You don't know. So it might do that again. The spread on it's not that big, 32 to 30. So the spread's not huge. So it won't necessarily do that same elongated candle with no wick. But again, it's moving. Looks like it's just going to move sideways for a little while. Other than that, what have we got going on? I'm still down pretty much for the day. Just waiting for some sort of movement. I only try to short when it's a green day, which means most of my positions, 80% of my positions, right when I get into them, I'm down. The 20% that, you know, I get and they're immediately start dumping, is usually I have an order in and it fills. You know, I happen to hit the exact top of it. It goes up, fills, because shares became available at that point, or there were shares available and it moved up. So, but it's usually because my strategy is very specific to my broker, which is IB, Interactive Brokers. So it's not a lot of looking for weakness and then jumping on the stock. It's more of me finding the correct stock that will eventually dump, and then tactically trying to find shares. And when I say tactically, it works out to be kind of like what happens with eCry here. You know, I had the order in to get the shares for, I think I only had it in for a couple days, and it went up and shares were available, and actually it hit. When it hit, I wasn't anywhere near my terminal, so it's not like I knew that it hit or anything. But that's the majority of the way that I usually get shares of a stock, especially these pumps. There's a lot of times that most of these will not have shares available. Like probably these that I'm looking at right now, I would imagine they're not moving that much. So, but PTLF, UTMR. Imagine there's no shares. Not that I'd want to short either one of them now, because there's no real space for it to fall. ECEZ would be the most interesting one to short, and I could probably see myself shorting it at that level, but I would want to see a little bit more volume, a little bit more motion going here. So, but I wanted to see eCry move a little bit more. See if somebody, one way or the other, either we have a large cover or a lot more people jump into short, or the promoter starts propping it up. To start propping it up, what we mean by that is they're just starting to buy shares. So they'll have the majority of the shares in their control, right? They'll have a market maker or a broker on their side, and so the shares, they'll be doing buying and selling to keep the volume going, painting the tape just to show volume, just to get interest, so that it hits other people's scanners, so they notice that it's moving, so that people will get in and start buying it themselves. What creates the dump is when the promoter walks away and the shares are no longer in their control. When the majority of the shares are out of their control, they'll sell whatever they've got, take whatever money they have, and then just walk away. They just leave it. They won't even look at it anymore. At that point, the insiders are gone. The insiders have been gone for a while, probably by that point. So they've already dumped their shares, and then it's all in the hands of traders. And when that happens, it's not a secret. Obviously, if I know it, somebody told me. So how many thousands of people know it before that and are waiting for that same thing? So when that happens, it's an inevitable dump that will crash. And nobody's going to stop that. Yesterday, the promoter sent out the attack of the shorts email, which always comes out when you have a multi-day promotion or a multi-week promotion. They'll have their one red day on a daily chart, and they'll claim they were attacked by the shorts, like we mugged them or something. And there's nobody's flipping a stock like that. Nobody's going to attack it and make it go down. Nobody that's shorting in the OTC market, the penny stocks. We can't. It's not possible. But they send out an email like it's possible. Like everybody got together and said, okay, on this day we're going to short it, and that's going to force it down. That doesn't happen. There's market makers specifically around to make sure things like that usually don't happen. They have the majority of the shares in their hands as far as promoters go, so they're still controlling it. And then they say that, the stock fought off the shorts, or they have this whole rally cry, don't let the shorts win, don't let the bears win. And really, all it is a bunch of fluff. Just them trying to make an excuse for the fact that either they sold, the insiders jumped the bell and sold, or, the stock just got a bad publicity, whatever happened. Like what happened with eCry, actually. It got a bad article, some bad press, so it could be dropping. I seem to be losing the data coming into my computer at the moment. I wonder if I can get that back. We have to see. But I don't have anything moving right now. And my computer seems to have decided to slow down. It does this when I make videos and I don't have enough memory space sometimes. But those are the ones that I'm looking at. eCry, of course, being the most interesting. Hopefully that'll crack and come down pretty quick. It's going to have to, if it breaks this low here of 34 right here, then it'll break. It'll just keep going down for a while. The promotion seems like it might still be going on, and he might still try to prop it up a little bit. But you also have they also have to watch out for the chance of a of a halt. They could get halted by the SEC, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of forward thinking statements or anything that they usually throw in their emails with numbers and everything. They're just kind of trying to alert people to the stock that it's there and that it's going to go up, is what they're saying. So as far as that goes, for that promoter for eCry, seems to be stepping carefully, making sure that he doesn't do anything that would get the attention of the SEC, even though obviously the SEC should be paying attention to it. Any stock that's promoted, why does it have to be promoted? Apple doesn't promote itself, IBM doesn't promote itself, Google doesn't have to promote, Amazon doesn't have to promote itself, Yahoo doesn't have to promote. Nobody promote. If you're a real company, you don't have to worry about it. You don't promote your stock. You never hear Apple asking for people to buy their stock. They just sell their product. They make a good product, and that's what the stock bases off of. So this will, they'll all crash. Like I said, I'm happy to have shares on it. It's just I have to wait for that eventual crash. So we'll see if that happens. So hopefully that. Ring our bell for luck. And that should be it. So again, if anybody has any questions or you have any comments or whatever, just put them in the comments section down here and below. You can always go to the website, which is zentradermachine.com, and find me. My cat just jumped on my desk. And you can always ask any question there. Send me an email there. My watch lists are all there too. For today, all these stocks are on that watch list. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.